Happy Halloweenie, people. How's it going? How are you
Halloweenie?
guys doing? Yeah, it's Halloween in February. Thanks in part to WandaVision. I just loved when Agnes said Happy Halloweenie and then drove off. I was like, that's 100%
Oh,
something I would
is
have
that
said.
what she said when she was
She
driving
does.
away? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, she goes, Happy Halloweenie. I loved it.
She's so fucking creepy.
I love it, though.
Oh my god, she
Yeah.
was.
She's
Eesh.
great. But hey, everyone, for real though, welcome back. It's February, not Halloween, obviously. But this is Press Play again.
It's
Thanks
still
for
Halloween.
joining.
It's Halloween in February.
Halloween, it's always Halloween in my mind because I love dressing up. And anything that's not me, I'll dress up as.
Oh,
But what's up? Speaking of me, hey, I'm Bailey, and joined with me as always is Matthew Austin and Omar Zaki.
Glad to be back. I'm glad you guys keep letting me come
What's up?
back.
Yeah, it's been questioned if we ever will, but most of the time you just pop up and we're like, I guess we're gonna keep rolling with you.
We'll keep them on for
So.
one more. We'll tell them later. Keep putting it off.
Yeah. But so today it's Fridays, Wanda Fridays, as I like to call them.
Oh God, that's a great name, actually.
Right? I call it in my head. Every time I wake up on Friday, I'm like, oh, Wanda Friday. Okay, let's get
Here we
this.
go.
Let's get this rolling.
Let's do this.
But yeah, so we're here to discuss the newest episode of WandaVision, which is episode 6.
Episode 6 already.
All
Holy shit,
new
3 more
Halloween
episodes now.
Spooktacular.
Fuck.
I know, how depressing. It's like
going
depressing,
too
but I'm
fast.
also really excited to see where
Yeah, no,
it's
I'm
gonna
I'm
end.
really excited, and I'm excited to share the fact, which I already told you guys, I had nothing, not a single thing spoiled for me this week. So
I'm so proud. So
It's the
happy
first time
you.
for Omar. It's the first time we managed to do
first time
that.
for everything,
Poor thing.
baby.
He texts us and he's like, I learned my lesson. I will not get on Twitter. I'm like, good. It's 6 episodes in, so I'd hope you would at this point.
It's about time.
But yeah, so if you want to follow us on any social medias, you can't on Facebook, but you can on Twitter at Again Press and Instagram at Press Play Again. If you want to listen to us instead of watching us on YouTube, which I still recommend you do, you can listen to us on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and Radio Public. And if you want to leave any comments, liking, subscribing, that's appreciated.
Wow.
Appreciated.
All of them. All
It's a
three.
bunch of different forms of appreciation. And if you want to just give us any recommendations, tell us how great we are, tell us how awful we are. Either way, we'll accept a comment. Somebody, for the love of God, comment on this.
Except that
And
guy
yeah,
that one guy that commented on the Lord of the Rings one, but it seemed like it was a link to porn or something.
oh, nice. Hey, you know what?
But we left it up.
We'll take anything. So there's no problems. It's no problem.
Just
to
don't
me.
be an asshole. We'll leave it up.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so that's where you can find us. And yeah, as I said, every Friday we do this TV episode discussion review thing that we love doing. And we have so many great shows coming up and coming towards the end of Wanda. It's a doozy, and this has been super fun as hell, so I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So yeah, I guess we can kind of just dive into it because y'all know who's in this damn show. It's not like I need to say it every time. So yeah, what are first reactions? We'll go with that. We'll start with you, Ohms.
Okay.
To the
I'm
episode.
sorry. I just got a text that threw me off saying, "Hey, are you Omar?" Question mark. I have
Are
no
you
idea.
gonna say if you
From
are?
an-
I feel
From an
I
unknown
feel like
number.
I'm in WandaVision right now. First reactions, honestly, is this my favorite episode? I don't know. I guess I'll make that decision by the time like we finish talking, because I'm sure you guys will convince me of one way or another. But I'll say this: I think this is the most emotions I felt in an episode with this one scene. Like at the end, I'm not gonna say what the scene was, but man, it really fucking hit me out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, especially for a character I don't really give a shit about, quite
A
frankly.
character I fucking
I'm
hate.
I'm warming up to him though. But yeah, no, I just got like the same emotions I think I would have gotten if I was watching like an actual MCU movie. Which like we said, starting I think with last episode or the one before, we're starting to see like this is
Marvel.
in the MCU. Like
Yeah.
it's not just a TV show. It's not just like a cheap take on it. This is like very much so in the MCU. So yeah, no, I loved it, man. I mean, I'm ready for the last 3 episodes to fucking hit me. So yeah.
Sweet,
How about you
sweet.
guys?
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, this episode just keeps it going, right? It's like I loved it. I loved it. I'm with Omar that I got surprisingly emotional when we get to like just Vision trying to break out of the whole Westview area and kind of seeing him seeming like he's going back to being dead in that moment. Like that strangely got me. And for somebody that never really like loved Vision in the MCU, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this show doing to me? What is it doing? It's working. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the 90s that we were in this time. I loved all the like what Malcolm in the Middle like
Yeah.
theme song and all that
Like
stuff.
the
Like it was
playoff of
great.
Malcolm in the Middle.
As somebody that didn't even really watch Malcolm in the Middle, I knew what it was, and I was like, this is really cool. Like this makes total sense. And yeah, it was fun for it to be a Halloween episode. I don't care that it's February. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah, no.
it was a lot of fun seeing all their like they're all dressed as like their old retro selves, right? Even
Yeah.
even Quicksilver. Like so all that was
Yeah.
just cool. All that was really cool. I thought just keeps up with all the cool Easter eggs, keeps up with moving the plot along. Like give it to me. I'm ready to get into it.
Hell yeah. I would agree. I think I say give me more of this. I love it. I love them playing off of old characters and how they look, and it's funny whenever I realized they were doing the Malcolm in the Middle bit for like the intro. Whenever it shows Vision on the couch, I like immediately pictured Bryan Cranston as Vision, and I was like
Yes.
that's
Well,
hilarious, and I wish that I wish like we could have like they would have just had Bryan Cranston dressed
uh,
as Vision on the couch for that. I don't know why. I just thought that was really funny.
I don't know why
Um,
I laughed so hard when he got up with the newspaper and just whacked this kid with it.
mhm,
I was like, that's
mhm.
abuse, but that was
Yeah.
just it's Vision.
But I like super enjoyed this episode. I'm glad they did a Halloween episode because if you're gonna do that with any of these shows, I think the way the show's been, it feels so
Yeah.
fitting. I don't know why, it's just something about it I found so fun, but I did think there was a lot more jump scares in this episode. It got me
Dude,
like multiple
yes.
times.
One scene fucked me
There's two
up,
scenes
man.
that got me heavy.
The scene when she's talking to Quicksilver and then she turns to him and like the music, the music was what made me jump.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
Well,
like when
they
it
love
happened.
playing with that effect of like
Holy
showing them
fuck,
as
dude.
dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
which I
yeah.
find super cool. But
You just
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
But no,
expect it for MCU
No,
stuff.
not
So
at
Very
all.
unsettling too, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I loved this episode, but enough about that. We can just dive into the episode. So,
Let's do it.
I super got interested in whenever her kids showed, like when they showed their costumes, the
Mhm.
first thing that popped in my mind was like they're immediately dressed as something. Like this is like supposed to be an Easter egg of something. So I looked it up after, and they're both dressed up as well. Tommy is dressed up as old Quicksilver, but it's because he ends up having like speed powers. So because he ends up being called Speed at some point, but so it's like kind of cool with that. And then Billy was dressed up as his actual like superhero, like power, like his persona when he becomes a superhero.
So the kids basically are from the comics.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
even
So that
realize
was I
that.
thought we discussed that
Yeah.
already. My bad. I thought we
We
did,
probably
but
did.
yeah.
This brain can
They're
only keep
from
so much in it.
They're from the like they're real and they're from the
Oh,
comics, but
okay.
they end up they have powers clearly, which you see in
That's
this
cool.
episode.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I found that really interesting. And then yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
How
because
did y'all feel about it?
no, I thought they were really cool too. And in my brain, I was like, I did find it confusing that one of the kids seemed to be dressed just like the same way Quicksilver was dressed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then the other kid seemed a little bit different. He almost seemed, I hate to bring this back up, but he was dressed like Doctor Strange, which Bailey
No,
made a connection
that's
to.
actually it's
Oh my god.
I don't know if you want me to say anything, but there's actually a tie-in for that.
No, I mean, that's what we're
Oh.
here for, right? We're
But
supposed-
yeah.
So his character, I've like read on it. Apparently, his character is supposed to almost be like the apprentice version of Doctor Strange eventually.
No way.
Like he becomes the next Doctor Strange in a sense.
That makes so much
So it's
sense.
actually kind of
Wow.
crazy that
That's
that
actually
ends
pretty
up
cool.
happening. I don't know how many comics have that version of it because you know how
Uh-huh.
comics are. But from what I read, I was like, that is interesting. That
No,
it
I'm
makes so much
sure
sense.
they're gonna use that
That's
in
Doctor
some
Strange.
way or another.
In a way,
to-
that means
yeah.
I was right.
Yeah.
That like he ends up becoming Doctor
Your
Strange.
reason
Somehow-
was
Somehow
Or-
it totally makes you right, Bailey, but I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like super enjoyed all the stuff with the kids in this episode because you actually got
I
to
did
see
too.
them more as like their personalities and stuff. I liked
That
that.
and then the relationship with the uncle too. It was just like he's a fun uncle. They're having fun, and I thought he was super creepy because he was pretty much like in the know. Like he kind of knew what was going on. And he kept telling Wanda like, "Hey, you wanted me here. I'm just here to
But
cause chaos, whatever, you know."
so that's the thing. Do y'all really think that he is Quicksilver, or do y'all think he's someone like disguising himself as Quicksilver?
No, I think he's Quicksilver. I saw him run.
See, now I'm starting to think more that he might just be like a villain disguising himself as Quicksilver.
Oh,
Because he knows so
mm,
much. He's saying so much more than anybody else in the show has ever said to her. And he just appeared and she has no idea why he even appeared. Like everyone else she knows about, but like him is the only question. That's why I'm just starting to question it more.
When she asks him, though, he basically, and he could be lying, but isn't he just like, I remember dying,
Mhm.
like getting shot in
But
the
everybody
street?
knew about him dying.
Right. But he says, I remember getting shot in the street and then I was here. So yeah, that's what I
Right.
mean. He could be lying, obviously, but
I
he
think
wait,
also
too.
he plays it off
he
as just like
specifically
I
said
died
I
now.
remember
Like
dying, or he said I remember being shot
I don't know if he
because
says the word dying.
his character got shot in the X-Men movies, but he didn't die. So I'm not sure if he's
That's
referring to that.
Well, I
true.
think he's referring to him dying like in Age of Ultron. But what I'm
I don't
about
know,
to
man.
say is
Could be
she's
both.
like clearly trying to get him to answer questions about their childhood and he keeps like skirting around the answers. And
He's like, "Oh,
so
you're
like he's
testing
like you're
me."
trying to test me, but it's like
Yeah.
he never answered it. And so I it just slowly parts of that like he's asking how she's doing it, how like she has all this power. He's like asking questions that seems sketchy in my mind. So I'm just starting to question it a little more. I
Oh,
don't know if
trust
I'm
me.
right,
This
but
the seeds are there for him to not actually be Quicksilver and to be a villain.
right.
I just don't
So
know.
I think he's Quicksilver. I just don't think he's her Quicksilver, and that's why he doesn't know. Like even when he asks her about her accent, right? Why would like an intruder or like a spy like
I loved that, by the
care
way,
about?
because I feel
I
like
did
Yeah,
too.
but that's the
her
thing. Like
accent has
in
been the like topic of conversation ever since Age of Ultron because it like goes in
yeah,
and
yeah.
out. So I think that was just a quick little, or that was a fun
Well,
nod,
dude,
and it
it
actually there's
it
reasons
was
for it now. So I just
it
I
was
do love
that, and
that.
then also at some point they mentioned Kick Ass, which that's another nod because the two Quicksilvers were in Kick Ass.
Okay, I didn't even
Um,
realize that. That's cool too.
yeah, remember that they were friends. The
I
main
don't.
guy
I
that
never.
played Kick
I-
Ass.
I haven't
Anytime I've
seen that in
watched
so
Quicksilver,
long.
it's either been
Oh,
I knew
really?
the
on in a
actors
bar.
are,
It
but
was when we were
Yeah,
on our way home from senior trip. Omar, they put it on the TV, and
yeah, they did. Yeah, I
I was
remember
on a
that.
lot of Nyquil
But
going to bed. So
so oh, dude, holy shit, the Nyquil. But so yeah, I still think it's his own version of Quicksilver, but it's not her Quicksilver because in his Quicksilver, they're American. Their father is Magneto. That's how they got their powers. So
that's
he
true.
probably yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
as
honestly,
So
well
I think
that
versed on the
that's
X Men stuff.
I think there's two options, and I think one option is what you're saying, and one option is
mhm.
what I'm saying. And whatever happens, happens. But
What about
right
my
now
way?
I'm leaning well, you're kind of somewhere in the middle, I think.
I was about to say I don't even know what I think,
But that's the thing. All
but
I'm
I'll come
saying
up
is
with
like I'm not
something.
saying I'm right. I'm just saying I'm like super skeptical about this, and I'm doing the bad thing of like reading about stuff, and I shouldn't because I don't like
Mhm.
doing that. I like being surprised, but so now like just with seeing this episode, I'm starting to lean further away from him actually being Quicksilver, but. I could be completely wrong, and this is could still be how they're introducing X-Men in, but I don't know if this is.
You want to know who I'm very suspect of? Their neighbor, and I forget his name. It's the black dude, like with
Oh, the
the
Frankenstein guy?
yeah, yeah. I'm
Oh,
very suspect of him, dude, because
They like barely showed him.
I
Herb.
know, but the literally the 20 seconds he was in, he asks Wanda, "Is everything good? Do you want me to change anything?"
Yeah.
Right? Okay, like what would she want him to change?
That's what's so weird. It's like Agnes and like random people, like their neighbor, know
Yeah,
something's going
yeah, yeah.
on, but like are helping and also upset about it. It's so confusing because like
Right.
Agnes seems like she's trying to help her, but when you see her in the car and like she's freaking out when
She's
Vision
trying to
has
leave.
her come too, she's like asking for help. And you're just
Yeah,
like,
there's
I'm
something
I'm
going
just
on,
so
man.
confused. But
I
like
No.
I don't know. Maybe
What?
and that's another theory I have. But we don't even need to worry about it.
no wait. What? What's your
Well,
theory?
I was gonna say like she was fine the last episode before Quicksilver came.
Who?
Like she
Agnes?
seemed like yeah, she seemed like not fine, but she seemed like more like she was on Wanda's side. And now once Quicksilver's there, she's like trying to escape. I don't know. Like
She
I just
almost
find that kind of weird.
to
A
me
weird
in the
connection.
last episode, that was the whole time where she had the moment where she was like, "What, do you want me to come back and do it again?" Right? Wasn't that
Mhm.
last
Hmm.
episode? So
Yeah.
that whole vibe still reeked of like she's being held against her will. You know what I mean? Like she
Right.
knows something's up, but I don't even know whose side she's on. So I feel like her being in the car in this episode and being like with Vision able to talk to her a little bit, like I feel like it goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, no,
What's
I
going on,
agree.
I don't know, but
I still think I love questioning things, and I love, like, making a grand, like, I don't know. I like to think that this is all has something hidden that we still haven't seen yet, because
it
I find
has
that more
to.
fun. So
It
that's
has
why
to.
I like playing into the possibilities with these characters, but they're still it could just literally be Wanda. We have no clue.
I
But it
really
doesn't feel like it's just Wanda.
well,
I don't
especially
think it
since
is
she
though.
says she doesn't even know how she did it. If we believe her
Right.
Exactly.
when she's talking to Quicksilver, is he's just like, "How did you do this?" And she's like, "I don't know. I really
I
don't know."
believe
Hmm.
her.
I do too.
I do too.
She's
But
probably fucking us
Yeah.
though.
I just find all of this so I love that this is just like a giant puzzle we're all having to piece together like
Hmm.
all together. But
All
I don't
together.
know. I've been
I
enjoying it.
I really like the I like how this episode shows closer to the edges of Westview. What's the street that they
Yeah.
couldn't go past? I can't remember, but
Ellis Street
yeah,
or
Ellis,
something?
something like that. Like I like how it basically shows as Vision's walking to the edges of this town, or like
Mhm.
it's the simulation, whatever the fuck this is. That it's less shits given. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the
Like they look
characters
like
there.
mannequins.
Yeah, the people there. It's really cool how they even had them looking like Christmas lights or something, like house decorations. How like she kept like putting it up and back
Oh
on the
yeah.
clothesline, like it looked like something you'd put out like an animatronic in front of your like house for Christmas or Halloween. Like I thought that was a really cool touch, and I like how the further they get out and closer to the wall, the more people are like that, where it's like they don't have to be as convincing because it really does seem like somehow or another Wanda is putting together this whole simulation, even if she's under the influence of something else.
Right.
And so like that far out, them being like that, I thought that was really cool and creepy and interesting, for Vision to walk through and like even further reinforce, okay, something is fucked here.
Yeah. I feel like I will say, and I hate admitting this, but when and y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but when Vision was like investigating and then finds the wall and is trying to walk through the wall, the way he looked as he was pushing through and like how powerful he looked, I was like, damn, this is kind of hot. Like, and then he like starts like
God,
decaying, and I'm like,
Jesus.
still kind of hot. No, no, I'm
Oh my
Uh,
god.
kidding.
Death.
that's very weird.
I'm
It's
kidding.
very
I'm
worrying.
kidding.
The other thing
But
that was
That whole scene though, man.
the other
it
thing
was
that was
What
pretty
was it?
powerful.
scary was when Agnes in the car and talking to Vision, and she just keeps saying like, what does she keep saying?
Dead,
Death,
You're
death,
dead.
dead. You're dead. You're dead. Yeah.
dead, dead, dead. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, God, if I was like an 8-year-old kid watching this, I'd be like, oh my god, am
Yeah,
I gonna
I'd be
die with
scared.
it?
I honestly almost wish I was 8. Well, not 8. I wish I was a bit younger to where I
Every
wasn't
day,
working
bro.
on Fridays. Or if this came out Saturday, because dude, I think this would be the perfect show on Saturday mornings. Like first thing
Oh
in the
yeah.
morning, I wake up, roll out of bed, like So I was thinking about that while I was at work, while I was like fucking 12:30, and I know like most people have already watched this and are like, fuck, it sucks. But nah, dude, that whole scene when he's forcing his way out. And at that point, obviously, like you don't know what's gonna happen as soon as he gets out, right? I'm expecting like either he's instantly just gonna like fucking just fall or something, or yeah, like what we got. Because obviously we know he's like, in the real world. And that whole scene was just so fucking powerful and so dramatic, and like, dude, my emotions were honestly all over the place because I didn't. I mean, dude,
I
he
don't know.
might be
Vision could
my
make me
least
feel like that.
he might be my least favorite MCU character, and honestly, I'm just like over these episodes, I'm slowly warming up to him, and I wasn't expecting it. Like I knew at
Well,
some point he was gonna, you know,
I will say I agree, and I think I was thinking about it after this episode. I'm like, why does it feel like Vision is like almost a completely different type of character, even though he's the same person? And it's because he's acting normal. Like he's not
he's acting more
the
human.
weird Vision. Like yeah,
The
he's
AI part is
like
gone.
the part where in the beginning he comes down and she's like, "Oh, honey, I'm so glad you put the costume on. I'm sorry to put you through this." And he's like, "Well, it was the only thing in my closet." And he got like kind of an attitude with her, and then she like started making a face as I thought that whole part was cool. and he just like snaps back out of that and like pretends with her again. But I was like, I like that Vision is acting like that. I don't know why. It just
Well,
makes him
because
more likable.
because he's more relatable, right? Because like he's more human. He actually has emotions. He's making mistakes. It's not like everything's calculated. It's not like he's perfection. Which I mean, I
Right.
don't think anyone like wants to be perfect or like anyone really strives for that. So I think we could just as the audience we relate a lot more to him, and he's just a lot more enjoyable, dude. I mean the act look like aside from what you think about him, I think that he's a good actor, right? So when you
I
see him
mean,
actually have
yeah.
fun with the role, it's awesome, man. It's
He's n-
enjoyable.
he's never been my favorite, but I mean, yeah, he's been super enjoyable and really
Yeah.
good in this show. So like, I'll give him that props.
Hmm.
He just gets more range in this show, like more than he ever has been able to do in any of the other MCU movies, and I love
I
it.
agree with that. And since we're talking about range, Elizabeth Olsen, man, the creepy vibes we've been getting, just the different vibes and how she goes back and forth, literally just like a fucking like, dude, it's amazing. I did not know she had that kind of range because honestly, I mean, we haven't really seen anything like that from her. Same thing in the MCU. I mean, she's been like that, you know, like lost, depressed,
Mhm.
and she, you know, once she finds the Avengers, sure, she starts kind of like, okay, you know, I'm like, this is my family, but we still hadn't seen like that much of a range from her. And then the show, every other episode, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, she's incredible,
She's
honestly.
been able to do it
Um,
all somehow, and it's
yeah,
been
yeah,
I
yeah,
insane.
it's
feel
awesome.
I feel like with the kids too, like I don't know how y'all feel about what's going to keep happening with them, but now that we know that the kids are already showing their powers, are they going to end up like helping their mom at the end? When like clearly they're trying to kill her. And clearly they
Um,
start talking about like I can't remember Hayward maybe. Is it the villain guy's name? He's not the villain.
we talked about this last time. I
Who,
forgot.
Tyler?
Yeah. Tyler.
Tyler, yeah.
Yeah. I think his last name's Hayward, but I can't remember.
Yeah, director
He's
Tyler
clearly
Hayward.
hiding something that like he's trying to get
Hmm.
some they are trying to get Vision back. They don't give a shit about Wanda. But they know if they don't kill Wanda, they can't keep Vision. And I think that's what this is leading to. And I feel like with how that's going, I'm just wondering if it's going to be like a family team up thing at the end. Like you
Like the
just see like
Incredibles.
her and the both of the kids like
It could be.
That'd
levitating
be
next to her.
that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I
That would
wouldn't
be.
mind that.
I wouldn't either.
Do you guys think? Okay, so we're talking about like outside of her little town thing, right? Like you're talking
Hmm.
about like the kids actually make it out and they're alive and
Well,
everything.
well, they
Do
will be
we?
because they're real.
I mean, Vision is in there too, but once he's out, I mean, I don't
But
know.
Vision's dead. Like
I'm not sure how that works though, because I mean, she
That's the
did make
thing.
those kids with his
We don't
I guess
know how
I've
any of
read
it
on
works.
that, so
but you
that's
know.
why I know. But like those kids are
Oh, okay, okay.
real. I think they're gonna stay alive unless like Disney and Marvel have
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like different plans and don't want to keep the kids as a real part of the universe. I
Well,
think
then
they're gonna be
I
alive
I think that
still.
would set up for a really cool future, especially if they're doing this new, you know, like for this new phase, they're doing like the younger generation of Avengers,
Hmm.
where I think like Tom Holland is supposed to be like their leader, and I think it'd be kind of cool if they incorporate that somehow, and those kids end up being like you know in the MCU movies
Yeah,
as kind of like the new, in a sense, like Wanda and Vision. But I
I'd
yeah.
don't
be
know.
into it.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I love too when they were showing her just like extending her wall
Oh my
because
goodness.
she had to save Vision and but like didn't stop. Like it covers Vision, but then she just like continues to go for so long and has so many more people now trapped inside of this place.
Dude,
It's a
fucking
lot.
wild.
It's
I'm like it's crazy.
I'm glad that Randall Park had another fucking awesome moment in this episode. When they show the three of them teaming up and he just decks the guy.
Hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
let's go, dude.
I love that part
He's
too.
yeah, he's so cool, man. He's so fun to watch.
I and so like with the stuff with Monica Rambeau, when Kat Dennings is like looking at her blood work and she's like, you can't go in this anymore because it's like messing up your
Yeah,
molecular code. But it's like, is that she thinks that's happening because no one knows that she potentially has Captain Marvel's powers, or is that like proof that like she's changing and she's getting the powers?
That's the crazy thing about that. It could be either
it has
because
to be, I think.
we talked last time about how like the tests showing up like that could be a hint at the fact that she, like we saw in the comics, that she eventually can have Captain Marvel's powers or some form of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Either that or they're right that like going in there is fucking with like their DNA and shit. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
I honestly think it's her getting the powers at this point. Just because she was the only one who went in besides anybody else, and now everybody else is in. But like, so she was the only one they got to study that like had been in and out before.
Yeah,
But like, little do they know.
I can almost see the last 5 minutes of the last episode when they're all out of this, them doing like tests on everybody else and being like, all of our DNA is fine. Monica, yours is the only one that's different. And then
I
it's
hope they
like,
say it exactly that way.
yeah,
Like,
you
I
know what I
hope
mean?
that is
With
the
that voice and
exact way
everything.
they say it.
But
I
yeah,
don't know. I
that'll
feel
be
like
interesting.
we just have endless questions until the show ends.
Actually, I want to bring this up too because like I missed it, but I saw it afterwards on Twitter and like multiple people were talking about it. When Monica she makes a comment about like one of her friends may be able to help them with this situation, whatever, and she called him a I forgot what the correct term was, and I don't want to like completely screw this up, but he's pretty much she people think she was referring to Reed Richards. She referred to some sort of scientist or something.
Oh, with
Um,
Fantastic Four?
yes, yeah, yeah.
Who is he?
Remember?
Interesting. He's
Wait, what?
Mr.
Mr.
Elastic.
Fantastic, bro.
Oh.
Oh,
Mr. Fantastic.
gosh. I was
No, y'all
thinking of
remember?
Incredibles because
Oh
you were talking about
Lord.
Incredibles, my bad.
There, there was this
Mr.
one
Elastic.
scene where they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on in Wanda's world, and even if it's taking place in real time or the past or whatever, and she goes like, "I have a blah 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 friend that could probably help us with this." And once again, I forgot the correct term, but it was pretty much like she was referring to some sort of scientist,
Oh, okay.
which
Interesting.
Reed Richard is that sort of scientist. So people were saying, "Holy shit, and this is it, and this is how they bring in the
This
Fantastic
is
Four," and
it.
it went over my head completely. But then I was reading
Yeah.
about it after, and I was like, I mean, dude, this very well could be the way they to some sort of extent. I'm not assuming they're gonna have any. I think maybe if anything, they end up like name dropping them, right? Because I mean, the Fantastic Four isn't even
Yeah.
fucking cast in the MCU yet for them to appear.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think by the end of this show that we have a direct link to the Fantastic Four like coming in, or do you think they're just planting the seeds right now but keeping them super vague because they just don't really even know that far out
It
yet?
could go either way, to be honest. I mean, it really could. If they do, I think they would name drop, like I said. You know,
I
so
personally think if they're gonna introduce, like, I don't think there's any way they're gonna introduce both X-Men and the Fantastic Four in this at the like this one show. I would be surprised if they do both of them. Like,
Do
hmm
if they
we
name drop both of them, I would say yeah, but like introducing if this Quicksilver is literally just introducing X-Men, then I think that's crazy
yeah.
ambitious. But like this is a crazy ambitious company, so
this has made it like this show has made it all more bizarre to me now, and maybe you guys know the answer to this, but in my mind, ever since Disney and the MCU got the rights to Fox stuff, obviously because they bought them and all this is happening now.
Yeah.
I assumed that when X-Men comes in, it's new casting, new characters. Do y'all think that's still the case, or do y'all think that Evan Peters being in this is linking it to like the X-Men we know already, and like you get what I'm
God, I
saying? Like
hope
when
not.
Wolverine pops up, like does Wolverine still pop up, and is it somebody else, or are they trying to link that universe to this one, and it's because there's pros and cons to that. You know what I mean? Like
Well, the thing is, if they're doing the whole multiverse, they could have
multiple
fucking
ones.
from
Yeah,
all over the place. Yeah, so it wouldn't matter. I mean, we know for sure Hugh Jackman is
that's
never coming
true.
back. Yeah,
Right,
He's
so I
not
think
coming
right.
back. I feel like we could get like young Magneto and Professor X possibly because they're both great actors and I think like they would fit well. I don't want uh I can't remember her name to be Jean Grey and that might be jumping the gun
Yeah,
because
what's her face?
maybe if she has better writing and a better show, like she'll do better as it, but seeing that movie, seeing Dark Phoenix like slightly ruined the X-Men for me. I
I
wish I almost hadn't seen that movie.
I can't imagine they want to spend any more time on that. Like she already got her own movie, even if it was
Yeah.
her. You know what I mean? I don't know,
So
but
I
it's
don't know
it's
how
just
I feel about
interesting.
that. But it would be interesting. I don't know. Again, I there's still parts of me that don't think Quicksilver is actually Quicksilver. But I
I
guess
just
we'll
okay. So
see.
you think they sent him to kind of like find information about her, right, and stuff. But I'm thinking like if they did, why would they not use like her actual brother. I mean, it's not like they don't know what he looked like.
So
So
it more
why would
has
they
to do
send
with
this?
like I don't think his physical body is him. Like I think it's a villain that can do that because there's
No,
been
no, no, I
rumors
know,
of
I
it.
know,
So that's what
I
I'm more
know. But
saying.
why would he take that form? Why
I don't
not her
know.
actual?
I have no clue. I'm just saying like
Right.
I just feel like this is wrong. I feel like something about it's not
Okay.
right. So
That's
Well,
the
you
that's
part.
more what I think.
That's the part that confuses me about it, because I know it's a popular theory online that he's not actually Quicksilver, but in my mind, if he's not really Quicksilver, then why not go with the Quicksilver she knows? Like,
Right.
pulling in
Right.
a different Quicksilver, like, seems to me like it's so, like, this has to be, and we know they're setting up the multiverse anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so it
Mhm.
seems like this has to be him. The only thing I would say is he still could be being either controlled or being put up to it, you know what I mean,
Right.
by a
Right.
bigger villain. I feel like that's
Yeah, and
super
y'all are
likely,
probably
but
right. I just like to believe the opposite. Like I love just believing the thing that is impossible because I think it's fun. So I'm not saying y'all are wrong at all. I'm just saying like it does feel wrong. Like there is something about the way he's talking and the way he is with
Oh,
Wanda
sure. Yeah. I mean,
that does not
everything
seem like he is
sounds wrong.
himself.
well, even the flash
So
to him just being dead again. It's like
yeah.
Mhm.
something's still up here.
Well,
Like
and
this
that's what's
isn't.
crazy too, because like he was dead and shot like how the original Quicksilver was shot. So like
But yeah, that's from her point of view, though. Like
but
that's how
that's what
she
I'm
saw
Yeah.
it.
saying. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, we don't know. Like, it could be anything. We don't know
Mhm.
if that's just from her point of view. That literally could be somebody showing her something. So we just
Right.
won't know until the end of this dang show.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
I agree.
it's been very
Um,
entertaining.
to say the least.
To
Yeah.
say the fucking least. God.
Oh
I
man.
can't believe we only have 3 episodes of it left. I'm
Oh, me
getting
either.
bummed out. But then I remember we get Falcon and Winter Soldier right after that. So
Plus, I
let's
don't even think the
go. Let's get
story is
this
gonna
fucking terrible
end.
show out of here. Let's get to the good stuff.
Oh no, it's not gonna end for sure. I
I'm just
think it's
kidding.
gonna carry over to the MCU. You know,
But that's
it's
what I
gonna
mean.
carry over
Like,
to Doctor
this
Strange.
is whatever the end of this show is gonna follow up like in a giant way. And I think all these
Oh,
shows are going to
absolutely.
do that, which is
Yeah,
going to be so crazy to me. But yeah,
I agree.
so I loved this episode. Clearly y'all did too, but I can't wait to see. Do you think they're going to do the 2000s now that they did
They must,
1990?
huh? They have to.
I'm
Why?
assuming.
I imagine with 3 episodes left, why would you not then go 2000s? I mean, and then from there, I mean, the 2010s, I guess, are almost
And
indistinguishable
then
from
present
just
time.
MCU stuff. So at that point, you're basically just from there. But at the same time, the way this episode ends, it seems like, I mean, she's literally about to just fucking take off, and it seems like she could just go, like, shit could just blow up in the next episode anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if there's time for more decades. But
Well, we will find out come next Friday. So we really hope that you come and enjoy this with us. Again, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, things you just want to say to us, just say hey even. We'll accept it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all of that jazz. But yeah, we will see you around. It's been marvelous, guys.
oh my God, it's been marvelous.
Oh, I
It's
see
been
you.
marvelous.
I see you.
But yeah,
Yeah, you
so
know, I gotta slick
That's
this in.
that's our host, guys. That's our fucking host.
so we'll be back. Our next episode's gonna be we'll have our review of the Two Towers, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Hopefully.
and then next week we're going DC, baby. We're switching
Going
it up.
DC.
Let's
It's
fucking
gonna be
get it.
dropping on Thursday, so
We're
be
getting ready.
Yep.
fucking ready.
And I would imagine by the time we get to talk Man of Steel, we're gonna also have
Yes,
seen the
this
next
Sunday.
Snyder Cut trailer. Yeah.
This
So that's
gonna
Sunday.
all be
up in
Fucking
there.
So yeah,
it's gonna
we'll
be
definitely
wild.
be talking about that nonstop, I'm sure. So,
Hell yeah. Give
but
it to me,
yeah,
baby.
until then, we'll catch you on the flip side. It's the best